Hi, I won't just be sharing how I made this delicious egusi soup. I will also share the health benefits of some of the key ingredients I used. This soup is delicious and nutritious. So,
Let's get started. I'll be starting off with the egusi I used. This is the market. While buying your egusi, it is preferable to buy the egusi that is peeled with the hands and not machine. This particular one was peeled with the hands, while this was peeled with machine. When you use these two, you will know the difference. The one peeled with the hands is always tastier and has a very nice aroma when you compare it with the one that was peeled with the machine. Always ask questions. Here is the beef I used. I used some beef and chicken. So I'll be marinating this with simply salt, pepper, and seasoning cube. I will season and marinate for 30 minutes. Do you marinate your meat? Why do you marinate? I marinate to tenderize my meat as well as add flavor. While some people differ on the reasons for marinating, I would like to hear from you. Let me know why you marinate your meat in the comment section below. Next is the vegetable I used. I used ugu. This is fluted pumpkin leaves. You can use spinach or bitter leaf. I washed until the water was clear before cutting them. Make sure you wash your vegetables first before cutting them. Don't do this in the market because you won't have the time to wash it properly. Next is the dried fish I used. This dried fish is always filled with dirt and sands. Make sure you wash properly with hot water. You can use brush to scrape off the body before washing. Here is the meat. I've already marinated and I cooked without adding water for 7 minutes. Always do this, you will like the outcome. I marinated and started cooking without adding any water at all. I will set this aside. Here are the ingredients I used. These are habanero pepper, seasoning cubes, and obey. You can use ogiri as well. Here is the crayfish. Next are the dried fish. Here comes the chicken and the beef I cooked earlier. Next is the egusi. This is the egusi I bought. I bought 2 cups. Remember, this is hand peeled. Always go for hand peeled. Next is salt. We'll just be using salt to taste. And finally is palm oil. When buying palm oil, make sure the one you bought does not have taste. It does not have awful smell. And when you taste it, it is not sticking to your tongue. This is how to know that this palm oil is a good one. So to the egusi now, I will simply add water to this egusi. Remember, it is hand peeled and form a paste. Egusi contains protein, which helps to build and repair the muscles and skin. It helps to prevent and fight cancer. Egusi will help to get rid of toxins from the body and prevent cell damage due to its antioxidant properties. It will also help to fight inflammation, improve digestion, and help those with diabetes. Set that aside and let's start cooking. We set our pot on heat. We'll be using 2 cooking spoons of palm oil. Remember how to check if the palm oil you are using is a good one. The palm oil you use can make or mar your egusi soup, so be on the lookout. I will simply added my palm oil. I will not allow this to bleach at all. Once this oil is hot enough, I introduced the egusi. This oil doesn't have to bleach. Once it is hot, introduce your egusi. Once this egusi enters this pot, it is time to start stirring, especially if you are using aluminium pots. I will advise you use a wooden ladle to stir so that this egusi won't burn. Make sure you stir from time to time. Stir, stir, stir until all the egusi is covered with the palm oil. Look at the egusi now. I will show you the difference on how to know when this is properly fried. Next is the pepper I used. I'll be pounding the pepper, the obey, and the crayfish. You can simply use a blender or a food processor to get this done. The pepper, the obey, and the crayfish. Once you are done, set that aside. Make sure you keep an eye on the egusi. Look at it now. Any difference between the egusi we stirred earlier and this? Look at that. These are now like gari crumbs. They are like bread crumbs. There is a very great difference. This is how to know that your egusi is ready when frying, okay? Once this egusi is ready, it will be like crumbs, more of gari crumbs. Can you separate the palm oil from the egusi now? Everything is now well combined. Look at that, guys. This is how to know that you have fried your egusi properly. I introduced my stock. If you don't have stock, at this point, you can simply add water. If you have stock, make sure you add it now and stir the egusi so that everything will be well combined. And so I added ordinary water now. This is the water I will use to cook this soup. This egusi soup is so nutritional and delicious. It will help your heart health, it will improve your bone health and reduce and prevent the effect of inflammation. I will simply stir and allow this to cook. Cover this and allow to cook properly. I allow this to cook for about 7 minutes. Look at it now. Look at the egusi. Make sure you cook properly after frying. At this point, it is time to add all the protein. Here is the beef and the chicken. You can use other protein of your choice. It mustn't be these ones I used in this video. Feel free to use any protein of your choice. I added the dried fish I washed earlier. Make sure you wash this dried fish very well because of the dirt and sand. I usually clean them with a brush and then wash with hot water. Before introducing them into my soup, I added the 2 seasoning cubes. You can use any seasoning cube of your choice. Next, I added salt. Remember, there's salt in the stock. There's salt in the dried fish as well as the crayfish. So mind the way you add salt to this soup. It is advisable to add a little salt. If there is need to add more, I will tell you when you can add more salt. Okay, so stir this properly and allow this to cook properly. Remember, the meat wasn't properly done. I just marinated and I cooked with the water I used to marinate. If your meat is hard, you will have to cook for longer time. I added the pepper, the obi, and the crayfish. All of them should go in now. Make sure you stir so that everything will be well incorporated. Once the crayfish is in now, this is the best time to taste for salt. Remember, I warned earlier that you should mind the way you add salt to this meal. Now that every ingredient that contains salt is inside this pot, we can now taste for salt. If the salt is not enough, we can then add more. I am tasting for salt now and the salt is okay, so I don't need to add extra salt. If you need extra salt now, add extra salt and cover this pot to cook for 3 to 5 minutes. Once this is cooked, add your vegetable. I added ugu. You can add spinach. You can also add bitter leaf if you want that option. If you are using bitter leaf, make sure you cook for longer so that the bitter leaf will be soft. Make sure you wash properly to reduce the bitterness. If you're adding ugu or spinach, once you add this, you are ready to get this off the heat because this vegetable doesn't need heat to retain its nutrients. Okay, once I add my ugu, I love my ugu to be sparing. I don't love it to be so much in my egusi soup. So once I add this ugu, this food is done. I'll be removing this off the heat. Can you see the crumbs? Do you love it this way? Would you be preparing this? Let me know if you love it. Now that this food is ready, can you see the palm oil? It is sparkling red. Can you see the vegetable? It is pure green, meaning that this vegetable wasn't overcooked. I hope you love this recipe.
Thanks for watching. Would you be preparing this egusi soup? Would you be using my recipe? When you do, let me know if you love the outcome. I will see you in my next one. Cheers to your success. Keep being amazing. Bye bye.